warrior's mindset is about conditioning the mind, body, and spirit. It takes practice, commitment, vision, goal setting, determination, sharp focus, respect, and discipline. Once you learn it, you can apply it to all aspects of your life. The warrior's mindset prepares you for the largest competition ever, the competition against self.
All right. Thank you for having me here, guys. I appreciate you. My brother, Master Mo, my brother, love one another, help each other, so forth. This is awesome, man. As he was talking, I was thinking back there because a lot of times people, everybody know about me doing all the martial arts and all that stuff, but they don't really understand a lot of the other stuff that got me in the martial arts. And even my business now is all because it was on the other side of the street. I used to be a hustler, all types of money. And I had to make a decision. Do I want the consequences from the money that I was getting when I was in the streets of Baltimore? Because I'm be honest, you can have all the money you want in the world, have people fearing you, doing whatever you want to do, drop G's here, whatever it may be, go to the club, do all that. I just don't like the consequence. Consequence, the jail is usually the death. So I had to choose now what the consequences no more. But when I ended up sitting back thinking, when I ended up getting in trouble in 1989, I got locked up in the maximum security prison. Locked down for 23 hours, let up for 1. And I was claustrophobic. So when I got locked up, I was about ready to kill myself. So I was contemplating suicide in Libya. But then I thought about my son. Then I dropped down. I asked God to give me a chance to use martial arts as a way to go back and empower the next generation. And when I felt that cloud, that pain being lifted, I began to drop down into the toilet paper or any type of paper in a pen and write everything that I felt in my spirit. And I knew that when I came home, I couldn't go back to hustling, so I had to go back to figuring out how I can run a business. So I took all the principles that I had learned and I wrote them down. And I swear to you, when I came home from jail, fearful that not one. First of all, I got a job in jail. And what I needed to do is find out how to be disciplined. And this is really important, guys, as I'm going into this concept. In jail, I had to be at work on time, like I paid $1 a day. But I never showed up late and I never left early. There are people today got all the money in the world, how do you say all the money? You want more money, you want more of this, or you still show up late. Can't show up late. So I had to learn how to discipline myself and show up on time and leave a little later than everybody else and study everything that I was learning. And when I realized that, hold up, when I come home, I'm already going to be on parole, so they're not going to hire me for that. So what are my options? Well, my options is, what is my brand? I need to figure out what my brand was. First of all, what is the most powerful brand that I had? My experience. I used to hustle, pistol whip people, beat people up, whatever it was. I'm not saying this to be bragging. That's the life that I lived to try to get my mom off of welfare. Let me take that back to you. You don't think I'm glorifying hustling. As a young boy seeing my mom on welfare, I couldn't have her on welfare. I needed to figure out what can I do to step up as a man to get her off of welfare. So I chose to hustle. I was still in martial arts. I was doing all that. But at that time, I need to use this term. I was being pimped by everybody for my talent. Nobody realized that when I went back to the projects, my mom was still struggling. All these things was going on. So long story short, when I sit back, I said, hold up, man. I got locked up for fighting the police, but I could have got locked up for a lot of other stuff that I didn't get locked up for. God, I'm glad. I thank you for this one arrest. Because if I'd have got locked up for the other stuff, I'd have been done. So what I realized, let me figure out what I can do to teach other people that think they know about combat what a predator really thinking about. Because when I was doing that stuff, I'm not saying this egotistically. Wasn't nobody going to stop us from doing, wasn't no guardian angels who going to come up in them projects. Wasn't no police going to come up in there. That's why it tried to put the projects down. You were not going to stop us. I don't care how much martial arts you know. You weren't going to do that. So we had that insane mindset. And we had this strategy and this operation to see more money than I ever thought about. I said, hold up, man. Let me figure out a plan on how I can go out and teach this to people. So you can deal with a person like me. Did you get what I'm saying? I didn't say be like me. I said deal with me because I was a predator. I was preying on people. And I felt as though I was superhuman. And I got away with more than what I got locked up for. So I created Street Combat. Street Combat was truly telling you about the street. I'm talking about the predator. I'm not talking about the guy in the restaurant or the guy at the club. I'm talking about the predator that don't care. They don't care about death, dying, whatever it may be. So bringing it up, once I had that locked in along with a couple of other programs, when I came over, I had $20 in the dream. $20 was to be able to start a business. That was 30 years ago. So we had one of the most successful martial arts schools in the country. I was able to raise my whole family off of teaching martial arts. Never worked nowhere else. My dream, that's it. So what I need everybody to understand, I don't care which, if you like picking up poop, you can be successful. Anybody can be successful if you're not successful. And if you can't take what you love and manifest it to being something that can take care of you. Now, let me bring this back because I need you to understand what I'm saying. If at one time I lived in the projects and I owned a building that we claimed to own, but we didn't own it. It was somebody else's. After running the dojo in 15 years, God said, now it's time for you and Kimber to own the dojo. We ended up owning our own. Now, listen to what I'm saying. Let me run this back. From teaching martial arts, we were able to buy our own building. We were able to raise all of our kids off of a dojo. And we still able to raise people off of a dojo. But that took me understanding business principles that most people don't know. You know why they don't know? Because you don't want to spend money to go to trade. I'll be real with you. Nobody want to spend money. Nobody want to go to a seminar. Nobody want to sit there and listen to what somebody said because you think you already know. But I still go to seminars. As an entrepreneur, I love knowledge. If you look in my book, I probably got 6 or 7 books on business. I'm always a part of a mastermind. I want to know what they're doing. So when I was talking to Master Mo, and this came from somebody by the name of Champ Nichols, who's Damon John's speaking manager. One of my mentors, he said, man, I love the 37 skill being that you're doing. Let's get 37 business principles for people that need to be entrepreneurs. So these are 37 principles I think everybody needs to know. Because sometimes you don't know that you don't know if you don't show up around people that do know. A lot of people in business think they know, but their business ain't making no money. Guys, I'm not saying I work somewhere else and then I report it to dojo over here. All I do is martial arts. I don't do nothing else. The students get a tester. That's it. My wife do it. That's it. To be able, a guy by the name of Steve LaValle said the greatest thing that you could do in life is to make a living off of what you love doing. You'll never work another day in your life. I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what the 37 is. It's like to be amongst a mastermind. Let me let you understand what this knowledge is. You have to go to seminars that cost probably $1,000 per person, plus airfare, all this stuff. You want to be in the mastermind group? Look him up. His name Joe Policy. Just be a part of his group. It's cost $20,000 a year. So if you want to be amongst money and do you want to make money, you got to get around money. If not, you ain't gonna make no money. I don't care what you think, but you got to be humble in that room. I'm humble. When I walk in, one of the greatest lessons I ever learned when you walk in the room to get wealthy or be successful, act done. You know why? Because everybody gonna tell you everything they need to know. You want to get all the secrets. But most people want to walk in the room and tell them what you know, what you do. This, I don't want to act like I don't know. That's why I was a little kid, know about all the titles and all. I just want to be a humble guy. Because the journey of success is constant. Because my journey now is how do I leave enough wealth for my kids' grandkids? Let me run that back to you. For my kids' grandkids. So I got to know what I'm talking about. And I got to make sure that I'm teaching this to other people so they can understand this. So wherever you go, and I'm going to say this before I go into these principles, if you do know, then you can't be pimped. But if you don't know, somebody out there pimping you. You work with somebody now, I'm not being disrespectful. But it's okay to be pimped if I can pimp you back. But if you being pimped and you ain't pimping back, then you ain't going nowhere. I learned, I'll give a little. I'll give it, because I'm going to get a little. So once I understand these principles, I'm good. So I broke them down and simplified. The first one is why. What is your why? What is your why? You know what my why is? Is to make sure nothing come in between my conscious on deck with God. I don't care who you are. You will not come in between me and my creator. Nobody. Not my wife, not my kids, not my family. It's thee and God. When I was in jail, it was God that allowed me. What's the flip side to God? Flip side to ego, easing God up. You had to stop easing God up. You ain't gonna tell me that when I dropped down on my hands and knees and I said, God, give me another chance to use martial arts, that he didn't change my life. Because I never got in one fight. All those stories y'all heard about jail didn't happen with me. I got through practice martial arts, did everything I need to do, and had a lot of people. I got everything that I needed to learn out what my why is. The flip side to why is purpose. Why? Purpose. No matter what happens, I'm going to continue to do this with no money or whatever. It's a passion I feel inside myself, and nothing will come in between that. So if you don't have a why, then your business is all about money. My business ain't about money. I don't care about money. Damon John tell you that. Don't chase money. Chase the dream, chase the passion, and then guess what? Money gonna come. But if you chase the money, when you ain't make no money, what you gonna do? I'm gonna show up without money. That's why I was able to get through the $20 in the dream. So know your why, know your purpose. If you got something, if you want something to last for a lifetime, I've been teaching martial arts since I was 13 years old, never worked nowhere else. I'm 61 now. That's all I ever did. You know why? Because I saw problems for people that go and do problems. If whatever you teach and don't solve a problem that's major in society, it has no value. You gotta be solving a problem for some community, some individual. It can't be about you. Nobody cares about what you got until you show about how much you care. Let me run that back. Nobody don't care about what you got and what you done achieve until you show how much you care. So once I learn to solve problems with positive solutions, then guess what? I'm ongoing. My brand never died because I'm always about helping other people. So remember when I dropped down to jail, I asked God to give me a chance to use martial arts to empower the next generation. That's what I do. That's what my wife did. That's all we do. It's about the next individual. So once you know your why, once you understand the problem, but seriously, if you think about it, what problem do you have? Why do you keep running into the brick wall? Boom, boom. What might be a problem that you have? Focus on that problem that you have, build that problem up, find a solution for that problem, then that becomes your brand. Can't nobody take that. You can't take my life from me. You can talk about martial arts all you want. I was a guy that grew up in the projects. I sold drugs, I hustled, I've been in shootouts, I've been in all this stuff. So people talk about all this, killing this and the bad this. I don't care who you are. You ain't gonna go in no hood and say I'm the baddest fighter in the world. Because the killer's gonna come, all the people that hate each other will come together and make you turn out mess and then go back and fight. So I need to say it again. For all this mystical, great, bad, this, that don't work. So what I had to recognize once again, what is your problem? And have you found the solution? That's what you teach on. That's what you build on. Can't nobody take that away from you. Vision and brand. What's your vision and brand? I remember the rap song a long time, but it said, Calvin Klein ain't no friend of mine. I don't remember what song it was. Anything I wear is the band. I don't care what it is. My wife like, you wearing bands all the time. Look, they got Bam Tims. I'm gonna wear Bam Tims. I'm gonna wear Bams, whatever. It's gonna be Bams. Bams, Bams, Bams. It's my brand. And you can easily do that. Anybody in this room can do that. Even if you went to the flea market and said, somebody make up a t-shirt that got Bam on it. And then go to another guy and say, how much would it cost? It's easy. It's easy. I ain't gonna go nowhere without wearing my brand. And that's what you gotta do. But BAMs really represent the better attitude makers. It goes back to the vision in jail. Wherever I go, I gotta make it better than it was before I came there. Number 4, goal setting. Goal setting. If you don't set goals, then you ain't going nowhere. I don't care who you are. Most people don't know where they're going. Ever since when I was locked up, I realized that when I was reading, I realized that, man, I always set goals. I can show you pictures where I had a number of Bruce Lee pictures all on my wall. It was a goal. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be in movies. I always had to go. One of my black ones said, Professor, ever since I've been doing you've been so focused on the same goal. I had never met anybody like that. I'm still doing the exact same thing. Problem with most creative people, once you get bored with the goal, you leave and go and set another goal, and there's somebody that don't have as much talent as you have, they just come like, kick it. What is this? And then make $1 million off your points, off your work. Don't leave it. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. So, but the goal got to be a 5-year plan to a 10-year plan. 5 to 10-year plan. If anybody ever see me at the gym working out, I'm always working out with earphones. You might ever see some of my videos. Yeah, I'm always working out with earphones on. So you know what? This is how focused I am on my goal. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to nobody else's words. In my studio, I make my own music, and over top of my music, I have me talking about my 10-year plan. So when I'm working out in the gym, I'm being reminded every day about my 10-year plan. That's it. That's it. If you listen to my earphones, I don't care what music it got my 10-year plan. It got me telling me my 10-year plan, and then me telling me why I'm going to achieve it. Me. But then I'm also looking at a vision board every day. So in order, I don't know how most people can achieve a goal if you're not reminded of it every day. I'm reminded of it every day, every second. There will never be a day that I will ever forget to live to be reminded of my goal. The reason why I went to jail because I stopped focusing on my goals. So anybody that don't have a goal will end up anywhere. That's why I ended up in jail. I ain't gonna end up anywhere no more. That's why I'm gonna stay focused on what I got to do. So we talked about the goal, and then you gotta have daily steps. You gotta have daily steps. So can I be honest with y'all? Can I be real?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir. There's a guy by the name of Nick Kokins. He created the business of martial arts. Look him up. One of the wealthiest men on the planet. Jewelry, everybody, Chuck Rose, whatever. I was the youngest kid in a classroom with him learning business. And here's what I used to do. I would hustle, go to the club on Friday. Had to be at a staff meeting Friday morning. I would go to the club on Thursday. Had to be at a staff meeting Friday morning. I would get on a bus, hit the DC, and I would lie about my statistics. If you don't know what statistics is, write them down and try to figure out what it is. And I would lie about my statistics. So every time he asked me a question, how many leads you get? 200. How many signs you get? 100. I would lie. I was lying because I wasn't prepared. Success is based upon preparation. Don't have no preparation. I don't care what you want. You ain't gonna get there. So I would lie. And then sometimes, guess what, guys? This asks anybody. There's one thing that I always said. You will never see me amongst anybody that's giving me great knowledge falling asleep. Being lazy. Doing anything that represents negative, but I'm gonna hit you with that again. I'm be real. You want me to be real? The reason why I am where I am at, I will do whatever it takes to be of high character and be on time and never be an example that don't represent wealth. I'm going to be wealth right now, even when I'm broke. Tony Robbins say, act like you're wealthy when you're broke. Then when you get wealthy, you ain't got to change nothing. I don't think you feel what I'm saying. When I ran my dojo in Fairlanes Aquatic Center, the whole operation was set up like I was already running $1 million dojo. That's why I'm where I'm at right now. I don't fall asleep. I don't yawn. I don't do anything that represents the guy that was a predator. All those things are predatory behavior. I don't care if you ain't robbing nobody. When you're standing in meetings and you're doing things that represent something that nobody wants to be around, that you wouldn't pay for, you need to change it. Because if you don't change that, you ain't gonna get nowhere. Because one day you're gonna be amongst those type of people. And if you don't have the character, you're done. Guys, I should be dead. I need to say that to you because this is important. I should be dead. I was homeless. Everything that could happen to a young black man coming from Baltimore happened to me. It wasn't until I chose to make a better life for myself and my son had to be a bigger vision than me that I got where I'm at. So here's my daily plan. I still get up at 3 o'clock in the morning without an alarm clock and do what I did in jail. What's your excuse? I get up at 3 o'clock. I pray to God. I write to God. I look at my vision board. I burn my sage. I do what I walk my dog. I make breakfast. I do whatever I do. Then we have meetings and I do all this stuff before 6 o'clock. Because I know at 7 o'clock my wife gonna be up. Then it's time to be a man. Then I gotta serve my wife and my son. And then by that time they gone, then it's time to go to the dojo. By then I done did whatever. See here, let me explain something to you. The hustler wakes up before you wake up so they can rob you when you get up. I don't care who you are. I'm saying this from passion because I know it. I don't care what they say, how tough you are, whatever. If I'm getting up and running the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning and then you wake up at 7, I already burned you. I'm already figured you out. You're done. You're done. So guess what? You ain't going to get me like that. I'm going to get up just like the hustler going to get up. But guess what? I'm a hustle for God. I'm a hustle for truth. I'm a hustle to change the world. And then the rewards are non-returnable. And the consequences are profit. And I'm not talking about financial. Mm. I'm talking about people, talking about community, and I'm talking about the ability to stand up and tell your truth and let nobody take it away from you. So if you want to run a business on that level, then you got to change all those things about you. Guys, I used to talk like this. Gives that, this Earl, what's up? You know why? Because we hustle with this speaking codes. Nobody would know what we was talking about on the phone. So when people look at me now, hear me talk, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Guy in jail told me, he said, brother, guess what? Your hope is gutter bottom dope fiend. You ain't gonna never amount to nothing. Any man in jail spending his money to get high or sell drugs, you're less than a man. That's what a man told me. And only one of y'all gonna make it. Be a man. And when I want to say something like most people like I was saying to you, shut up. Because your best thinking got you in jail. Now learn how to improve your thinking. Until you can change everything about you, you ain't gonna change nothing about you. A lot of people, sometimes when we talk, we say, you know what I mean? You'll be talking to somebody like, yeah, you know what I mean? You don't know what the hell you mean, because you don't know what you mean. You talking. Think about the things you say back. When somebody tell you something, or when you go and they say, but man, and you go, but, he said, no, but means you lying. Every time you put but on the end of a word, you lying. You don't want to hear it. You locked in. So guess what? When he told me that, I realized that I had to change everything about me, how I walk, how I talk, how I dress, and most importantly, how to be a man and how to be a father and a husband. And that made me a better business person. Hope you're enjoying the show. Want to tell you about something that's dear to my heart. My book, The Warrior's Mindset Daily Devotions. Pick up your copy by hitting the link below. Remember, if your principles are negotiable, you don't have principles. Be the warrior from the inside out. So when we going back, those are the daily steps. You constantly trying to change everything about you. Plan your work your plan. Plan your work your plan. I need to hit you with that again. Plan your work your plan. I know everybody like to use your telephone, don't you? When you go to meetings, you want to use your telephone. So can I be real? Can I be real again? Anybody in a business meeting without a pad and a pen ain't really trying to learn that. You can hate me all you want. You can hate me all you want. Anybody in a business meeting without a pad and a pen ain't trying to learn that. And let me tell you something. And you can do research on it. You can put it in your phone, but when you write it on a pad and a pen, you internalize the energy through your muscles and through your psyche, and now it becomes yours. Yes. When you type it, all it is robotic. Think about it. Do research. People that transform their lives, in order to transform their lives, the journaling. When they journal, everybody journal. When you journal and you begin to write it, it's like doing your punches and your kicks. Now that truth becomes your truth. Guys, this all come for me. The reason why I know what I'm talking about, because in jail, the guys say, guess what? Everything's about my experience and my facts. I guarantee you can research anything that I said, and I venture you'll see every wealthy person saying the exact same thing. So you can be mad with me or be mad with history. Don't blame it on me. That's what changes me. And my students will attest. Every time they see me, it's with a pen and a pad. I can show you one right outside. Because I said, geez, I'm going to New York, or something might come to mind. It might be that $1 million idea that might come while I'm driving. I got to write it down. Think about how many ideas that came to you, and you're like, man, I'm going to get back to it. When you got back to it, you forgot it. That could have been a life-changing idea. That's what we're talking about, guys. So plan your work and work your plan. And what's so crazy, when you plan your work, chaos going to come. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you are. Chaos going to come. It's funny. We plan out our schedule for our dojo and things we got to do in October. So we got all these things planned, this, shooting movies, doing this. And then it's time to go back to school. So I got one son going to college and got another one getting ready to go to middle school. And then my wife got this whole schedule with the activities up. And or Friday was like, whoa, this is where we supposed to be shooting a movie. So she panicking. I'm calling the person like, oh man, it's this day. Da 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 da. We going through all this. But then we was able to figure it out. You know why? Because we had a plan. When you don't have a structure, you live in chaos. You cannot function without a structure. You gotta have long-term goals, but you gotta have daily action steps, and you gotta follow them. You're not gonna always follow them. If you ever had a vision of me waking up in the morning, I told you all the other things I do, but I open up a big notebook, a notebook like this, and on it has every schedule that I gotta follow from Monday through Sunday. Sunday's my dumb day, because you gotta have a dumb day. And Sunday, if you ask me what's 1 + 1 is, I don't know. You ask me what my ABC, hey, what? If I see you, I'm gonna run from you. Anybody try to have a meet with me on Sundays? I don't meet on Sundays. That's my family day. That's my day. That's my family. I don't care what's going on. You ain't getting me. Everybody like, yo, you want to talk? No, don't call me. Don't text me. Don't even. Nope, I ain't gonna answer back. So we gotta have that day. But when I look at all those things, I go, I don't follow everything to the T. But it's like doing a kata. Everybody know about katas, right? So I done won world championships with katas. But most titles I won, I had to make it up in the middle of the kata. Everybody like, yo, that was a bad form. Like, yeah, man, I slipped. I had to cover that up, boy. That wasn't my best. In my mind, I know it wasn't my best, but that's life. But because you got a plan, you can fall back on that. But if you don't have no plan, you can't find your way back home. When you have a plan and chaos coming, you can always come back to the base and the foundation to end knowing that, I did like 3 out of the 10. That's good. Because it ain't always about home runs, it's about base hits. But you got to have a schedule to be able to do that. And you can win games from base hits. We know that, right? All right. So, and here's the most important thing if you ever look at that board. If you ever look at my little thing, it has a picture of me and my wife and my sons. It has a picture of each one of my sons. And it has a picture of me and my wife hugging each other. And here's what happens. Every day my sons wake up to go to school, they see his dad. They see their dad with that right on that table. Every day. My sons don't see me do anything other than that. I don't know about you. If I get up at 3 o'clock, so when the water on pipe busts, I'm able to go ahead and call somebody, figure it out by the time the wife get up, and then she had dinner, or had breakfast. I go and say, oh man, guess what? The water pipe. So when she goes, I said, we called. See, when I get up, I can handle the things that's gonna happen where I can't get up when everybody get up. Even when I used to compete, I always went there before everybody else. I gotta be before everybody else. I gotta bring my energy. I want to control my destiny. So anything that I can put out there to help me control my destiny, I'm okay with it. And it's gonna take a long time before it happens. But guess what? I'm being consistent. So plan your work your plan, take those simple action steps. And here's the other thing. Everything gonna go wrong. Most people can't handle everything going wrong. When I came home from jail and I went to my sister's house to stay with my sister, she kicked me out. Said, you haven't changed. So I was standing outside my sister's house and had to go and tell my son that I couldn't see him because I had to figure out what I was going to do. And I can't stay in Baltimore because if I do, I'm gonna start back hustling. So I told my son the only thing I can give him is this Quran and I'll be back to get you. And I told my niece that I need to go to DC and I'll walk to DC. She gave me $20. That's where the $20 is dream come from. The moment I got on the bus, I got off the bus and I went to Georgetown and got a job at Burger King because I needed consistency. I needed to find something. But then a couple of months, the guy had me going to the bank to do all this, pick up money and everything. And that's how my life changed. I had to flip the script. Everything that I thought was going to work a certain way, where I thought everybody was going to have my back. Guys, ain't nobody going to believe in your goals. I don't care what you think. You can tell everybody, yo, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, you ain't going to never do that. Guys, I was the same guy, had all those Bruce Lee pictures on the wall. When I got on the TV, WMAC Masters, everybody in the tournament circuit said I was crazy. My instructor, everybody said, he ain't going to never happen. Man, why you want to be in Hollywood? Everybody, even to this day, people say that. That's why when I do stuff, I don't tell most people. I keep it to myself. I tell them, God. You want a cheering squad. Ain't nobody cheering for you. That's what we mess up at. Even when you change your life around and you come home, this is where most people mess. You come home from jail or you done turned something around and you want people to celebrate. Ain't nobody celebrating for you. Guess what? They mad that you did it. They going through hell, and you try to hope they going to celebrate you when they going through hell. Shut up. Give a walking example. Be silent about it. But you got to flip everything that comes your way. Flip the script. That's what it's about. Flip the script. Do every negative encounter, learn to flip it. In our dojo, I don't know about most of y'all, man, but when you go to school and you got we teach kids 3 years old, we got a lot of students. And I guarantee you something gonna go chaotic. Right, guys? Y'all down your breathe? Something gonna go so good. It's like, how the hell did they figure that one out? We was in class this week, was doing something. We was balling in class. Somebody just threw right this weird. Well, we couldn't stop because guess what? The customer don't care about your problems. They pay for a service. You got to keep the service going and not miss a heartbeat. but we figured it out. And we rolled with it, and it was all over. And then even though you were pissed off, when the dad said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Want me to clean it up?" I'm like, "Nah, I got it, sir. It's family." You think I really wanted to clean it up? No, I didn't. But what am I going to say to him? We are family. I got it. It was because you offered the help that you don't have to do it. I got it. See, guess what, guys? You know what customer service is? Going back to flipping the script. I don't care what nobody said. I'm telling you, I'm telling the truth. Even when we was on a step and it was thousands of people lined up, cop and move. You flipping bricks. You flipping a bundle of 55. Every bundle of 55 got 10 packs in it. We flipping probably 10 bundles every 3 minutes. You do the arithmetic, how much money that is. People coming and go, cop and move. And guess what? A guy always told me, treat that fiend just like you want to be treated, because one day you can be on the other side. You think it's just in business. It's on the street. You want nobody not to stitch you on you? You want people to celebrate you in that community? Treat them with respect. You get money, you successful, you start like, "Come on, fiend, get on up, cop and move. Get out of here. I'm going to hit you." Well, guess what? When the police come to the community, they're going to snitch on you. You building hate. Stop. Whatever you do, don't claim to be better. Just be who you are, man. It doesn't matter, because in order to make your business work, when I open my business, and even today, I don't care about the competition. All you gotta do is take in my block. You get wealthy with one block. You don't need to take over the world. Let me go back and say it again. One block. Every hustler got one block. They making millions of dollars. Take care of your community. Take care of your community with whatever you want to do. Take care of that community. And whatever comes your way, flip it. But flip it to something positive. There's a solution. There's a solution to everything that you encounter. That's that principle. Flip the script. Use it as a stepping stone. That's number 6. Use it as a stepping stone. And if you don't know what to do, read a book. Get an Audible. Knowledge is king. It's everywhere around you. There's no excuse not to learn how to do it. The reason why you're not learning how to do it, because you're not doing it. Why do you think motivational enterprise is so wealthy? Because everybody that is a wealthy person is giving you the knowledge. Now, I might get in trouble with this, but I gotta say it. You want the truth, right? One of my guys always say, "Man, I hate Donald Trump." I'm like, "Yeah, but I like the other Donald Trump when he was a businessman. I thought it was a joke when he's gonna be a president, but that's on y'all. I'm just talking about the Donald Trump that was the businessman. I got all his books." So let me explain something to you. A guy told me in jail this. It ain't the messenger, it's the message. You get caught up in the messenger. It's the message. Some of your most powerful messages come from the man, and he told me this. He said, next time you see that old man laying in the gutter, foaming from the mouth, treat him with some respect. He might say something to change your life. We keep on thinking it's a perfect being. It's not that. The blessing comes in all shapes and forms. So if the knowledge is there, you take the knowledge that was done by a bad person, because remember, most bad things that happen was somebody that took something that was good and learned to manipulate it and use it against you and capitalize on it. But it all started from good. Am I making sense, or am I losing? Go back and understand that facts. And then if you keep it fresh and raw and stay at that point, it's going to change you. But you got to study. You can't just get caught up in your own head. So you got Audible, you got books, you got whatever. How many people still buy books? Raise your hand. All right. How many people spend about $100 in a bookstore? Raise your hand. About $200 in a bookstore. Raise your hand. I got so many books. I'm like, because you know what? One day they're going to equal it. And that's why my wife left me buy, because I learned to flip them and make more money in another way. The next one, everything got to be legal. Don't cheat on your taxes. Don't cheat on your custom. I don't care how bad things look. Don't cheat. I'm going to sound for you. You good? I don't care how bad things are going. Always end with integrity. No matter what. Don't get caught up in the selling contracts or trying to get over on people. Just do your very best, man. And our dojo, my wife runs the front office, and I just do the other part, because I'll get the dojo with. Because if you're struggling, then I'm going to figure out what I can do. As much as I talk about business, I'm going to figure out what I can do to make sure I can give you what I believe God blessed me with. If you hold that to be true, then God gonna give you a chance to make the money that you need to take care of your family. You just gotta believe that, man. Not a human being. I don't care what you call it. I know it ain't human. That's all I know. And it created this universe. If you hold on to that and surrender to that and have faith into that, I guarantee you, you will find a way to succeed legally. Guys, when I came home, there was no way. I made so much money. It's funny when you go take your kids shopping. Like I laugh about when I take my kids shopping, and my wife is spending all that money. I always sit outside. I'm like, man, that's drug dealer money, man. Damn, you can't make that back. See, when you was hustling, you spending like $500 on something or G. You can always go back with a step and make that money back. But now as a dad, you sitting there like, oh man, she can't make that back. This is a legal business out. You know what I'm saying? That's just a dagger in the ring, but it's real, But once again, when you look at that, you have the ability to analyze that and see, okay, man, I am grateful that God provided me the opportunity to take care of my family. As a man, I always tell people too, I don't make money off my dojo. My dojo now is for my family. I can show up, do what I need to do. I don't need money. I'm not trying to be funny. God gives me everything I need. I see my wife happy. I see my kids happy. I see my sister happy. I see my community happy. I see all the things that God allowed to be coming to my eyesight since 1989. So I'm okay. Oh, I can't. I'm not trying to be funny. Money, what means more to me is my time. I can always get money, but I always can't get time. Time is the most valuable thing that you have in life, and when people waste it, you need to do something about it. Everybody don't deserve my time today in my life as I get older. Master Mo deserves my time, and I deserve his time. And that has a lot of power. When you learn to value time, then you learn to value opportunity, and then all those other things begin to come your way. And that's what makes you be able to function in a legal manner. Okay? Protect is one of the most important things and I'm saying this, guys, have you ever heard a story? I don't know if maybe I ever seen this. Like you grew up in the hood, and the gas electric get turned off. Ain't no lights. Then everybody sitting around the table trying to figure out how to get the lights back on. But everybody credit all messed up because everybody got it in their name. And then somebody said, "Give go baby." And so the kid like ain't even one. They say, "Let's get Jimmy. Put it in Jimmy's name." Then they put it in Jimmy's name. Jimmy grew up at 18, went to go get something. They said, "Oh, you got bad credit." Why? Oh, at this time you had this credit, you had this piece of equipment, and you never paid for it. You look back like I was 1 year old. Y'all ain't gonna tell me y'all never experienced that. I see it all the time, man. What we learn to respect your credit score. Learn to teach your kids to respect. Teach them about credit right now. Yes, sir. Guys, when you what I'm teaching right now is the raw and uncut. When I was locked up, brother, he said, "Look, bro, get on the front line. See, because everything else on the back is cut." I don't think you feel what I'm saying. He said, "Get on the front line, get the raw and uncut." Everybody want to stand in the back? Well, you getting the water down, especially the way things are today. You really getting the water down. I don't know what they put in that. I want the raw. I want the raw that's going to knock me out and kill me, boys. You know what I'm saying? Where I can't get back up. I want that truth. That's what I want. And that's what we got. That's what we have to strive for. So I think it's so important that we teach our kids that. I'm so proud, and I could brag about it, for my daughter to be in California, be one of the most sought after black female stunt people, great kept credit score. To have another, I look at your kids should be better than you. Let me say that. Your kids should have way better opportunities than what you have, and then that's what I'm going to say this to you, this is real. As a man, don't hate and get jealous and try to manipulate them and mess up the opportunities. Because a lot of us was never taught how to give. We always, when our kids start achieving, we start fighting with them with an ego. I got rid of that a long time ago. I want to be proud and I want to be happy. So I want them to do things that I didn't have a chance to do. So protect that credit score, because I didn't understand the value of it. But now I do. But now, even if I'm still working and I see my kids doing better, am I making sense? Yeah. All right. And then save money, man. Save your money. Master Bo said it. Do y'all what is the one thing that a hustler going to do? Give me two things that the hustler going to do. No matter what, it's the most important thing they gonna do? Those are important. Somebody give me something else. Something else? Huh? Okay. But they're gonna have money for somebody like you. Stack to the side. Lawyer money. You know you're going, you know what's happening. With the lawyer money on the side, and my man, the Bells boss man. We gonna have the Bells boss. Look at the type of people I hang out with, man. Oh, but they like, yo, fam, you be set. Man, that's what God do, man. But we'll talk about all the legal stuff. We talk about legal stuff. But so even as a business, you want to have lawyer money because somebody might try to sue you. You want to have Bells bonds money. You might get a mistake where you might have to use your self-defense or whatever, and you will end up in jail or on court side. You want to be able to get out so you can do something about it. And remember, this is what's so important. The Master Book just said that. But this stuff that my teacher said, we're going to always have problems. But when I came home from jail, I could arrive at my problems with money. So guess what? When I had no money, they locked me up. When I got money, they said, all right, we'll see you on your court date. I ain't never heard that happen to a black man. I'm like, what? I'm leaving out. But when you change your quality of life, that's what happens. So have that money stacked aside as a business owner. Okay? And then the other day, pay your bills on time. Don't be saying the tennis shoes and say, man, yeah, I'm gonna hold off on rent. Or saying I'm gonna go to the tournament because I want to be a world champion and miss those important things. Pay those bills on time. So these are valuable essential things. And then learn to balance your checkbook. I know we all probably do that, but guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still learning how to do more of it now than what I was back then, because if you're really taking care of family and moving real fast, doing what you have to do, you don't have time to sit down. This might sound crazy. I always tell my son, mostly everything I teach was developed in jail. Every video you see out there, every book I have out there, everything was developed in jail. So what I did when I was locked up, every day I didn't hang out in the day room. Because I see people getting stuck in the neck with pencils and fighting over young men wrestlers and the war. So every time I sense energy, I went back to myself and I began to write on all what I wanted to do. I didn't do anything else. I practiced martial arts, I wrote, and I planned my work. I didn't hang out, I didn't socialize, I didn't gamble, I didn't do nothing else. Every book and every curriculum I taught that I teach today was developed in jail. So I probably would never have that time ever again, and then neither do I want that type of time again. You get what I'm saying? There's something that's going to come. When did Bruce Lee write the Tower of Jeet Kune Do? Say it again. Say a little louder of his story. When did Malcolm become the real Malcolm for transformation? They got more convicts in the Bible than any other book written. More convicts in the Bible than any other book written. If you don't learn to take your rock bottom moment and use it as a moment of education and preparation for success, you never want to find the time because we're too busy running the rat race. You got to pay bills. You got to take care of the family. You got to do this, do that. You don't have the time. So when God gives you that time where you can slow down and you begin to create intellectual property, because guys, we got to remember something. What is the new, what means more today? Is it actual physical money or is it intellectual property? Say it again. Intellectual property. You want to leave wealth for your kids and your family beyond, create intellectual property. That's more important than anything. That equals money. And the longer it takes for it to get discovered, it has more value and more value and more value. So these are things that we got to understand. Shannon Lee, y'all know, anybody ever heard of Shannon Lee? Yes. Okay, and I'm going to stop with these last two. We at number 12. I go to 27, go to 37, but I can't. Well, Shannon Lee, I used to go on a TV show with Shannon Lee. With her being Bruce Lee's daughter, you would have thought she was a multi-millionaire, right? Of course, we would have thought. You're part of a legend. But you know, when Bruce Lee died, everybody was using Bruce Lee's name. Movies here, doing all that. You realize that there's only a certain time the Bruce Lee books and movies come out now? Because somebody told Shannon Lee, go and trademark your dad's name, regain all his intellectual property. Think about it, you barely see Jeet Kune Do name anywhere now. because she went and got her dad's intellectual property. And if you want to do anything for Bruce Lee, you got to go to Shannon Lee. Bruce Lee left more wealth for his daughter than what he ever seen when he was alive. That's what we talking about. That's what real wealth is. So it goes back to intellectual property. That happened with Bruce Lee's daughter. He's a man we call one of the greatest. He didn't see the type of money that certain people see right now, but his daughter did because she understood it. You ever heard of Ed Parker? Why do you think you don't see Ed Parker books? Because their family once said, you ain't use my dad's name like that. You're the June Reed? Oh, I know Chun Reed person. I didn't use my dad's name.
Nobody bought a meeting.
No, nobody, yeah. I can use his name because Chun said he gave me right for our kids asking the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. But that's what we got to teach our kids. Control the intellectual property. Well, I don't care what it is, control it. But most importantly, as a business person, develop it. Everything that you're talking about, when have you put it in writing? When have you put it in writing? It means nothing if it's in your head. You can't teach it to nobody else if it's in your head. Wherever I go, I'm gonna give you a book. I'm gonna leave you with knowledge. I'm gonna leave you with something. Remember, you said Malcolm he found himself in jail by what? Reading books. Bruce Lee, look at his library, reading books. So it goes right back to the same thing. It's all coincide. It's together. People that don't study or people that don't write, I don't know where you're going. We tell it to our kids at our dojo. If you're gonna do black belt, you gotta do a 15-page thesis. Double space. You know why? Because I'm teaching the kids how to write an article when they go out and they want to do magazine articles. Some people probably, have anybody ever read any of my articles? But if you haven't, you've been doing research, but guess what? I started getting in Black Belt magazine because I wrote the articles myself and put somebody else's name on it. If you want something so bad, you got to figure out what you do to get in it. But you got to know how to do it. So that's really important. So making sure that we're recording things. And I'm gonna go back from 1. Why? Problem solving. 2, vision and branding. 3, goal setting. 5, planning and writing it down. Flipping a script. Number 6, doing everything legally. Protecting his credit score. Savings. Paying your bills on time. And here's the most important thing. Well, 2. Here's the last 2. When I was locked up, I didn't have a shirt. I didn't have a suit. I didn't have nothing. So when I came home, all I had was jail clothes. Jail clothes. That's all I had. But in jail, I wrote down when God gives you time, you start thinking about all the things you took for granted. So all the things I took for granted, I start writing down. I started writing down that I wanted a suit. I wanted a tie. Because you can't get a job. I don't care about nobody else. I don't care what nobody thinks in society. You could probably get away with going to certain levels. And this, once again, can I be real? You can have tattoos. You can have earrings. You can have your dreads. You can have all that. But there's a certain level in wealth building that you're going to be stopped at with that. You ain't going to get amongst the 1%ers with that. Because they still control all levels of wealth. And what they want that good image, clean-cut image. Think I'm making it up? How many feel like 50 Cent? I mean, you got to be, even though you're like a groovy, come on, man, you got to respect the brother as a business person for real. Right. If you hating on that, something seriously wrong with you. I've never seen somebody get a rap album and within the next year he had tennis shoes everywhere. All these things. No, you got to respect that. That's what he removed all the tattoos off his body. What did Mark Wahlberg do? Removed all the tattoos off his body. So I want to be amongst the 1%. 80% of the people are foul. 80% of the people in the world are foul. That 9% are innovators. They're the ones that they entrepreneurs. And then guess what? 1% kick out the money and control all wealth. They just sit back and watch what's going on. That's why I made the movie called 1 out of 100. I'm gonna be that 1. And if I don't be that 1, my kids gonna understand that concept. You can't control nothing. You can't do nothing if you ain't amongst that. And amongst that, there's certain protocols, there's certain character traits and all that. I'm not preaching religion, but it's funny because I read the Bible every morning in my car and whatever. And I couldn't believe the codes of conduct that I was reading. I was like, dang, man, that's what's missing in the world. It's a code of conduct. People of wealth want that. So we got to be able to dress that part and we got to represent that. So everybody's have a suit and a tie. Everybody got to know how to dress the part. And then when you want to be on chill mode, you be on chill mode. I know I couldn't wear no suit and tie when I came with Master Mo because it's time to get a little little relaxed. But when I go somewhere else, I'm gonna put on my super tie. And I think I earned the right to make sure I got a maximum pay attempt at the bottom of it. That's how I am. I'm sorry. But once again, it's your brand. I'm not saying that egotistically. That's your brand building. And people are inspired. Who remember Phil Collins? What Phil Collins used to always wear? Tennis shoes. Who was white guy I ever see, man? So make sure you got shoes. Make sure you know how to tie. Most important, you know how to tie a tie. But most importantly, make sure you teach that to your kids and your students as well. And the last one is one of the main problems we have in our society. If you're not in tune to your mind, body, and spirit, we practice martial arts for mind, body, and spirit to become one, to become whole. We don't practice martial arts to fight, destroy, kill. We practice martial arts so you can transform your own life. When you have a product like that and you're going to give people solutions, you can't fail with that because you're showing people how to function emotionally. So mind, body, and spirit. That's the last principle, which is number 12, mind, body, and spirit, emotional communication. You cannot, when I was in jail, I'm not promoting jail, guys, but if you go to my dojo, my students will always say that's how I talk. I ain't gonna change who I am because that's where I come from. For me to forget where I came from is for me to repeat it, and I ain't repeating it. Because if I ever go back to jail, I'm dying, I'm gonna kill myself. I ain't going back to jail. And I say that from the heart. I'm saying it to everybody. I am not going back to jail. I would rather die before I go back to jail. And even though I talk about what it did for me, I don't want to go back there. I don't glorify it. It ain't fun. It ain't exciting. But I know it's what made me find myself. So I got to do everything every day to remind myself of how hard it was. I got to remind myself of what it was like eating out the trash can. Because even though I was a big drug dealer, I ended up down here using drugs. I shouldn't be here right now. So I don't want to repeat that. So what I got to do is make sure my mind, body, and spirit is connected. And as Brother D say, feelings are not fact, but it is a fact that you have feelings. I'm going to say that to you again. I really need to grab that one. Feelings are not facts, but it is a fact that I have feelings. Feelings are like sand going through my hand. When I learned a 7-second count, once that sand is poured through my hand, then I'm calm enough to figure out what to do with those feelings and see which one is real, or just let it pass. We allow the feelings and the things that people say to us to get us all riled up and doing what we have to do. Our business based upon anger and revenge is not going to be successful for a long time. It's like a fighter in there fighting and you angry and upset and trying to seek revenge, you're going to lose. If you don't lose that match somewhere, you're going to lose somewhere. So we got to have that mind, body, and spirit connected. And that's what all these things are. If you get all these things together, then you can run any business that you want to run. It don't matter what you want to do. I don't care what it is. Remember, a great business is about taking whatever you feel in your heart and soul and figuring out what you can do to capitalize on it. But if the capitalization is selfish, then it might not last that. I know it's not going to last that long. And I say this last thing, when I can sit and see every last one of my kids being able to independently make their own money, then I know I didn't do my job. It ain't about me. Every last one of them being able to figure out all on their own. Yeah, my house, I ain't going to tell you what to do. I'm going to see what you can do to figure it out, and then we're going to find a way to do it the same way we teach. So that's the 37 principles of social entrepreneurship. I'm not just going to say entrepreneur, but social entrepreneurship, because it should be about profitable change to change our community.